Hey everybody, it's Jack. Welcome to Intro to Forearm Stand Part 2. Now that I'm up here, what do I do? If you missed Part 1, go back and find it. I'll maybe try and put a link in the description or at the end. But this one's, in that one I tell you how to set up and how to get up. This one I'm going to talk about what to do once you've managed to kick your legs up above you. So, remember we're scissoring up. Now, when you're starting, you're probably going to need to check in with the wall. That's okay, but don't stay there because you want to start to get used to not touching the wall as soon as possible. So it's okay to kick up and tap the wall. Try and pull away as soon as possible. And I think in part 1 I talked about pressing your legs together. But initially you're probably going to want to keep them apart, mainly because it's a little easier to balance that way. I don't know if you could see, my legs were pretty far apart, maybe a little bit more than shoulder distance, but it's probably the most comfortable and easy way to start, because then it's just better balance that way when you're starting. So there's my tap. And there I am. See, they're kind of wide apart here. And that's pretty good for balancing. Eventually, you can hold them together. Looks a lot nicer. And lastly, like, proper form is, like, my form isn't that good. Proper form is straight up and down. Everything's stacked vertically, so, you know, feet, ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, all straight up and down. Me, I tend to bow forward a little bit just because it's more comfortable, and I almost always go into scorpion. We'll talk about that in part 3. But so yeah, part 2. What to do once I'm up there. Remember, kick up, check in with the wall, but try and move away as quickly as you can. And also, eventually you'll get to the point where you can move your fingers back a little bit more so that it's harder for you to hit the wall. And then you'll have an easier time staying up. And transitioning into center of the room. Now, I talked about in another video about weighting and unweighting your fingers. It's amazing how much control you can get if you feel yourself going too far forward. If you just press into your fingers, and if you feel yourself going too far back, release the weight from your fingers and your legs will follow. So try that out when you're up. It's hard to see, but I'm actually controlling my legs by pressing into my fingers. Remember to scissor down so you don't bust your toes. And then part 3, we'll talk about scorpion and other advanced stuff, even though that's the only advanced thing I know how to do. Maybe I'll try and come up with something before I make number 3. There you go. Bang.